Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tony Chimmel, the GOAT of ring announcers. And you're listening to the Marks Podcast on YouTube.
You know, that never gets old. Fucking the big man himself, fucking Tony Chimmel, the guy who had to, his greatest achievement in all of professional life, the greatest thing that man has ever done, the thing that he should go in any Hall of Fame for, the thing that no other man could accomplish. Being Gerard Millet's friend for 20 years. I mean, the fact that he's pulled that off, I'm just 35 years of, oh God, even worse, 35 years of being that guy's friend.
And I talked to him today because I was asking him because we were talking about football, and then something came out this week to where an interview he did where he is done right now working with AEW. And I said, congratulations on your retirement. He goes, I'm not retired. I'm just done with them for right now. Doesn't mean I won't do nothing more. And I said, then there was a rumor floating around that next Saturday in Washington, D.C., he could show up to announce one last match.
17-time world heavyweight champion,
but
John.
I'm going to say that right now. There's really no one better to do it. Of course, I've never marked out over Tony Chimmel. So that's
there's
Wait,
no
what?
video proof. There's no video proof.
Wait, hold on. Wait a minute. Can we rewind? Because he just said he's never marked out over Tony Chimmel.
You gotta go back. You gotta go.
I'm pretty sure we have video to the contrary.
I know you just gotta zoom in on my face with black and white, just all.
We have
Suddenly life has new meaning.
So before you say something, make sure there's no video to contradict.
No, definitely, man. The old Hulk Hogan.
There's always video out there. Like there was this young punk kid, and when I was watching old wrestling footage, who Psycho Sid just threw around like a little rag doll. I love that. He was a little fucking goofy haired kid who thought he looked like the $1 Million Man, wore a jacket, got launched. There was another guy whose brother's on the internet who pissed his pants, but hey, that's not even here nor there.
Hey man, Gerard, shadow boxed in the mirrors backstage. He'd do the little.
Well, no, because in most of the arena, Jacob, most of the arenas back then, you'd had one mirror, and most of the guys would be standing in front of that one mirror. So I didn't have a chance, and it's kind of hard to stand in front of a mirror when you got Andre or Hogan or somebody of that size standing in front of it already. And I was 170 pounds. I was your size back then. I didn't have a chance.
There's hope for you, Jacob. There's hope for you,
dude. I mean, I can't imagine. I can't imagine just seeing Andre the Giant in person. I saw Big Show I saw Big Show 15 feet away from me one time, at a WrestleMania Access, and I was just like, holy shit.
Gerard and me have met in person. And Gerard can attest that I'm 6'5". I'm pushing 315. I'm a big guy. I met the Big Show in person. I've never felt small in my life. I've always felt like a pretty big guy. His hand looks like a fucking skillet.
Big Show just seems like the nicest guy.
It was a very nice guy.
I just want to give him a hug. I'm just give him a pat on the back.
I feel bad the Big Show didn't go further. It looked like a really good
dude. Honestly, listen, man. Say what you want about that. Listen, I love a good sitcom. I love a good fucking cheesy ass cheese. It was cheesy as fuck. It was so cheesy. It was coming out the fuck. It was bad. But I love a good cheesy sitcom. I thought it was better. It's better than some of the shit they put on Netflix, man. Because Big Show has
hard take better than Young Rock.
Oh, what, dude? 150%, dude.
He actually held my daughter.
Season 1 of Young Rock isn't bad though. I'll stand by that. Season 1 of Young Rock isn't terrible.
Big Show actually held my daughter in the palm of his hand.
I believe it.
I was like, holy Christ! But listen.
John Cena was at his son's bris.
Well, no, because I was talking about that with somebody the other day. It's like they were showing. We looked at the first video of him as the prototype in the building that I actually did his first match with him. It was a place called Good Times in Somerville, Massachusetts, and then he goes off of Ohio Valley Wrestling.
Well,
The kid that was
times last night was more like hard times, Daddy. And
no. You're giving it too much credit.
Last night, baby, was hard times for the rest of the business.
No. Like I said, you're giving it too much credit.
I have to drink this monster so I don't fall asleep. I have to drink this monster drink. So
what is that? Is that the dragon fruit flavor? What is that?
Well,
this is Ultra Fantasy Ruby Red, baby.
The best one of all time, bro. The best flavor of Monster, bro. You want to talk about all these zero sugar shits. The best is Mango Madness.
No, baby,
bro.
baby. We talking about Survivor Series, baby. We talking about Wall Games. That's what we talking about.
What I like to say to start, okay? Two things.
There's no monster on a pole match, Jack. It'll never be over. Gerard, this feud, you and me, Gerard, this feud is for blood.
I got two things I got to say first. First of all,
Gerard, I want you to hear me when I say this.
Hold on.
Mr. Millette, we'll find out if you bleed as much as I do, Mr. Millette.
Okay, so first of all, I would like to say thank you to the island of Tenerife and the enjoyment that I had for a week there.
I'd like to apologize to the island of Tenerife for having to put up.
Yeah, no, we've been on hiatus for 2 weeks.
All right, that's number one. The second thing I'd like to say is, whether you are or you aren't, I think I would just like to say some gratitude to the members of our armed services who keep protecting our country from BS. Thank you very much for your service. Now, and the only reason I bring it up because of the amount of military that was in the building last night, because San Diego is a big military town. And you know what? That was the highlight of the night for me.
Well, you're not going to put in the highlight of Paul Heyman pushing over a fucking, I believe, cancer kid?
I'm not. No.
He launched that little kid.
All right, now listen.
Hold on.
This kid is.
Wife, can we go to the videotape of Paul Heyman? Do we have the videotape?
By the way, we need to give a round of applause for Trips. By the way,
God, yes, just the fucking best in the business over here.
Yeah, this show would not exist without Trips. So. Okay, listen. To be fair. Now listen. To be fair, security was trying to get him out of the way before. You could see they weren't doing a fucking great job.
All I can hear in my head is JR going, "Oh my God, he's broken in half!" Like he just did that little bit.
Dude, okay, listen. If I was that, because this kid was probably like, "What? This kid does not look fucking."
Hey, that was the same kid that got upgraded.
Dude, I'm gonna say this kid. Oh, dude, that was fucking weird as fuck. By the way, the kid was just literally the kid was standing there in the John Cena shirt next to his mom and shit. Again, I can't really talk shit because I've gone to wrestling shows. I've gone to wrestling shows with my mom before, but only because my mom.
Was that his mom though?
What's up?
Was that his mom?
I have no fucking clue. I honestly thought that was
his mother or sister, one of the two. It wasn't a girl.
I honestly thought that was Lyra Valkyria's boyfriend for a second because, have you seen Lyra Valkyria's boyfriend? Literally, he looked exactly.
Oh, he looks like you.
But so, anyways, I was just like, so, anyways, I was. What was I talking about before that? Fucking. What's up? What was I talking about?
The John Cena guy's sister.
Oh yeah, so the fucking literally that was a weird segment anyways because I literally there's a good way to get upgraded seats in WWE shows. You just got to pretend to be a seat filler. I've done it many times, but fuck man, I totally lost my train of thought. I'm sorry, my autistic brain. I've been traveling for 4 days. I'm sorry, I just got back from Laughlin. So
he's been traveling for 4 days, but he hasn't left that room.
No, literally, I was in Laughlin.
Look at the posters. Look at the posters. It's a clear giveaway.
Yeah.
But can we not agree? Last night's show, in the words of a very smart potato I know, stinks. Stunk.
Put it this way. When Lash Legend came out and got no reaction, I think that's all that you need to know.
Well, nobody knew look, we know who Lash Legend is. I told her last night before. Okay, first match of the night, we have War Games, right? We female War Games. You see Kyrie, or you see fucking
Wrong match went first.
You could argue that. But the match build-up was great. You see Charlotte Flair coming out, resuming an old fucking rivalry with Asuka. They have wonderful chemistry. You know, we can't go any further without talking about Charlotte Flair's gear. If you could find a way to pull that up, Charlotte Flair's gear, paying tribute to a child who has cancer. I mean, beautiful sentiment, beautiful thing done. I mean, and I told her yesterday, I think the teaming up of Alexa Bliss and Charlotte Flair was the greatest thing they could have done, because Charlotte was getting
their chemistry definitely got better. I'll say that.
Well, and not only that, but
hold off on that, Trips. By the way, hold off on that. We'll talk about that when we get to it.
Yeah, I know. I saw it. I'm like, oh yeah, that's coming.
Can we? I mean, but like Charlotte was getting that nuclear fucking X-Pac heat last night.
I thought she had a positive reaction. I thought when she came.
No, until after WrestleMania, with her and everything going on with Tiffany and everything else, and busting Tiffany's teeth, and then the fucking promos before that. Tell Kaiser to stay out of my DMs, all that shit. You know, like
weird, man.
If you notice too, they've conveniently made those two go away from each other.
Well, yeah, I mean, well, fucking, I don't, like I said, I've said this before on the show, like, I don't know how Charlotte got so flustered.
Was she missing from that match scene that you brought her up?
With Tiffany?
Yeah.
No, I think that we've got...
Her instead of Lash Legend?
No, I think Lash Legend was perfect.
I mean, okay, so barring the fact of Lash Legend just coming out there, like, I sent this into the group chat, like, it was, I knew she was coming out, but like, first of all, the dumb theme song that she had was just like, it was basically just
song. But we got one look. This is the last year of fucking whoever is doing the music right now.
Yeah, Def Rebel. Yeah, no, I wish I was fucking deaf here.
Let's check out this gear.
Yeah, no, it was cool as shit. I was like, wait, what the hell?
You know what? Not only, and the little girl that she's giving props to, that's what I got to say. That she did this, and they said it multiple times, how she was honoring a young girl with cancer. Guess what? If your personal opinion of her doesn't change because of that, I could give a crap how you feel about her in the ring.
Now, I'm
not the biggest fan of Charlotte, but that was a really cool moment. I'm honestly surprised.
You're not the biggest fan of Charlotte. I mean, aren't you the one who dubbed her Rick with tits for the longest fucking time?
Rick with tits. Yeah. Again,
so I would like to bring in somebody here who has.
I was going to say it at some point, but I was waiting until we got past this stuff. You know.
I'll say this that Trips is a big fan of Charlotte. She always has been. She's always liked Charlotte. As far as like classiness, you can look at it. They're in competition not only for fucking number of titles, but number of marriages. And I'm not trying to be a dick; it's just the truth. But I think that Charlotte Flair, blow for blow, decision for decision, has surpassed her father as actually a professional. Like, she goes out there, she busts her ass in a field that is predominantly fucking dominated by men. And it really bugs me that, you have Becky Lynch going out there and saying, I'm the best. People say I'm the best. I'm sorry. Bell to bell, match for match, consistency for consistency. Whether you like her or not, Charlotte Flair does a better job than just about anybody in that ring.
Here's the thing for you. Hey, Becky, in the amount of time you've been in WWE, you've only now elevated one person. Charlotte, when you're in the ring with Charlotte, she's elevated multiple talent. Becky,
I don't know. I think Lacey Evans, man. I think when Becky Lynch and Lacey Evans, where they had that great feud, I'm gonna make it right. A woman's right.
I'm just saying is.
Speaking of that, and before we get back to the match, Becky pissed off Lacey Evans recently in a fucking interview with her and Seth Rollins.
Not only Lacey Evans, Becky Lynch ran her mouth about this unnamed male wrestler.
Can we talk about that? Because
that's what we're here for. Shit.
That was kind of like, okay, so here's the thing. I'm of the opinion, again, like, no one's gonna, ask me to sleep with them, to keep my job, basically.
We know.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so these went like the fact that first of all, like this has been happening for years. I'm just more
Y'all may
surprised.
not know this name, but if Perry Caravello has to give a guy a handy to keep his job, I'm pretty sure there's someone out there who'll ask you to sleep with them to keep your job.
No, but there like this is something that like it's kind of been known, like or at least like implied in the wrestling business, you know, to get ahead, you got to give head at least. Or, you know.
Do you remember what Francine said? They wanted her to oil up her tits and go to Vince and go, "What can I do for you, Vince?" And she said, "I didn't have to sleep with Paul for a job. I'm not sleeping with that motherfucker for a job."
So I'm kind of just surprised that this was even happening because Becky Lynch got on the main roster. What like she came in around 2014, right? So I'm kind of surprised that this was still kind of happening around then.
I don't know if it's true. Again, the only reason
that's the thing to me, like because. Here's what kind of was annoying because again, you have Becky Lynch sitting there talking to Bert Kreischer of all people, this fucking gremlin of a fucking void of comedy that Bert Kreischer is.
He just made Trips' day, by the way.
Dude, I fucking hate. He's fucking terrible. But anyways, this fucking dumbass Bert Kreischer, and you have first of all, I just want to ask you, Dan, as a married man. Imagine you're talking like, you know, let's just say the Marks podcast makes it big. And, you know, like, you know, we're doing you're doing an interview, you know, about the success and Trips, you know, does an interview and she's like, you know, well, you know, one producer said that I had to sleep with him, you know, and this, and then you start laughing. Because when Becky Lynch was fucking talking about this, Seth Rollins starts fucking chuckling. He spits out his fucking drink. He almost spits out his drink. He starts laughing at the fact that Becky Lynch is talking about basically like sleeping with someone to get higher. Like if you don't sleep with someone, you know what I mean?
I don't have to answer that. She already knows how I would react.
Yeah, like, you know, like how would you react? Like, wouldn't you just I don't know, man. It's just
it wouldn't be
this
around
whole
anymore.
Situation's weird.
You see, the problem wouldn't have gotten to that because he would have been gone well before we got to that point, or he would have been somewhere. I'm not promoting violence. I'm just saying that he may or may not have been in a position where he has to use a wheelchair to get around. That has nothing to do with accidents happen all the time.
Well, and even if like this is a situation where this is before Becky and Seth were like involved, but like Becky's telling a story about basically like she like had to, you know, oh, you kind of have to sleep your way to the top type of thing.
Hold on. I think she's here to respond to that.
Yeah.
No, I mean, because she was talking about particular talent. So
I don't think your mic's turned on, Trips.
she was talking about a particular talent. So not management, not booking. It was talent who would blacklist you if you didn't sleep with them, but then would also blacklist you after you slept with them. But she did talk a bunch of smack about having to dress like a whore to be on NXT. Like that was the dress code. To me, that was more of a revealing thing than some guy who's, you know,
here's the thing.
Backstage. That's nothing new. But to say that she had to dress like a hoe to get that, to me, that was more of a thing than there's just some guy being a guy backstage.
Unless she's talking from 2020 on, from COVID on, I can tell you this right now.
Wasn't a certain somebody, a certain son of a plumber in charge?
No.
Back then?
What I'm saying is, I was around that company many a times before 2020 when COVID hit. And never did I see women walk into a building dressed in a very provocative way. Under John Laurinaitis, you actually had to dress professional.
Are you fucking going to bat for Johnny Ace?
No.
Are you going
to
bat?
The fellas got discovered from.
If I was told, yeah, I get you tickets, no big deal. We can meet up.
Are you going
to bat?
Are you
dressed
going to bat for Johnny
like
Ace?
I had to have like a polo shirt and jeans on. I couldn't be in shorts and a t-shirt. Okay.
Of course, nobody wants to see you in anything like shorts and a t-shirt.
I couldn't be in jorts. Okay. What I'm saying is, for everything that I ever witnessed,
see this, Jacob? A fucking referee trying to make it all about himself.
I never saw anything to where women had Edwards up
there,
like hoes. The only ones that ever dressed up like hoes were the ones they paid to dress up as hoes for The Godfather.
Well, I'm just surprised that this type of thing was even happening when Becky Lynch was like in the company, like to begin with, because
even then she never dressed like a fucking hoe. She had,
but she never did. She was doing a river dancing gimmick.
Yeah, she did fucking river dance shit, and then whenever she got the steampunk gig, she looked like she was wearing a diaper.
Yeah, so I don't want to call her a liar per se,
I'm
but
not,
like,
but I
but
think
like,
there's
listen, why wouldn't she just release a fucking book? Why wouldn't she put this in the book?
Well,
Or
it's like I said
here's
to
the
Dan.
thing with this. Sorry, I don't mean to cut you off, Troy, but here's the thing. Like, here's what I was getting at, kind of. This is what I was asking Dan and Trips. Like, literally, like this was when Becky Lynch was describing this whole thing. Like, would you sit there, Dan, like, even if this is before, like, you and Trips were together, like, would you sit there if Trips is describing, like, yeah, like, I was told to basically sleep, with someone, like, would you be sitting there and start laughing, or would you just be like, yeah, I wish I was,
What?
yeah, you know what I mean? Like, would you sit there and start
honestly,
laughing?
if you're asking me what I really think, it's and again, I don't like Vince. I'm not going to fucking support Vince. I'm not trying to fucking say it, but it seems like more dogpiling and trying to throw him into a mix, like because of everything that's gone on. It looks good to fucking dogpile the guy. It really feels like she's becoming. I don't know. I wasn't there. I'm not. I wasn't. But
And like when we were talking, and I said, if Vince is there, this story doesn't even get out. But because these guys nowadays have so much freedom to talk on microphones, and because of the positioning that Becky Lynch supposedly has because of her
I
husband,
don't care. Look, I don't believe that for a second that it has anything to do with her husband because he's already fucking in a position right now where some people are not happy with him. But wife.
No, I was just gonna say to Jacob's question, I think that he sits there and doesn't think anything of it because it may have been earlier in that interview. She talked about what a piece of shit he was to other women, and she didn't want to date him because she saw him how he treated other women and would rather be his friend than not have him at all. So I think him laughing and finding it humorous is in keeping with who Colby is as a person.
Yeah,
Yeah.
fair enough. I just, again, people change, but again, we're talking about Seth Rollins. Again, I don't like Seth Rollins. We're talking about a guy, who dated a Nazi. We're talking about a guy who, it's, we're talking we're talking about a lot of situations.
Well, and to go back to it,
Not a
I want to make
confirmed
it.
Nazi. I won't say that. Not a confirmed Nazi.
I
but
want to
she
make it
was
very
alive.
clear. We don't know these people, right? Everything we
Yeah,
talk
no,
about here is
100%. Again, I'm just
it's
a dick on
completely
the internet.
speculatory. It is what it is. But I have a hard time believing that, especially when fucking it was the height of NXT, and I'm talking about when Dusty and Papa H were in charge, that shit was going on. I mean, they were.
That's what I'm saying. That's what's kind of like what's baffling me about this, that this was actually
And
happening.
if I have to speculate, I would say that she's kind of just like.
Do you think, like, I don't know, man? Do you think
don't
like
say
maybe?
it if you're not going to say who was doing it. If you're going to say,
I agree with you.
Hold on,
I agree.
hold on,
I'm the
hold
same
on,
way.
hold on.
It's
Time
like
out.
at that point, just say who the fuck it is. Like if you're gonna say,
Time out. Look, hard take. I think the worst thing and the best thing for her that ever happened, she got her fucking nose broke because she got a bit of notoriety and she ran that shit. And I'm tired of, when everybody talks about her being old and retiring, it has nothing to do with being old. It has everything to do with the gimmick of Rebecca Quinn being fucking played out and done. I'm tired of seeing her on my screen. You know who actually revitalized their own shit because they took a step back and realized they weren't God's gift to wrestling? Charlotte. Charlotte did that, and now people are like liking her a little more because she went and she's not in a fucking title picture. She's working with Alexa, and it's done wonders for her fucking
she
career.
became herself is what she's become.
She became Ashley Fleer instead of the character Charlotte, and I think Ashley Fleer is a much likable character than the fucking gimmick character Charlotte.
And I think Alexa Bliss helped bring that out of her.
100%. But it's also, I think Alexa Bliss was allowed to be herself too. She lost someone who was very important to her life in Wyndham Rotunda, and she's gone every day that she comes out there wearing that jacket that says,
and her career too, to be honest with you, and her career.
But what I'm saying is, like, when Bray Wyatt passed, that was someone who meant the world to her. It wasn't like a fucking relationship. It was a brother-sister dynamic that no one could ever take away from her. She's gone on record to say that he is a light in her life, and losing him was one of the saddest days. But she's gone on, and every time she wears that Fiend Friends Forever, Fiend Forever jacket, it's a reminder of saying, "Hey, I will never forget you for what you did for me. I love you. I'm still." She could have easily gone back to the fucking like badass in the ring that she was. Her gimmick as Alexa Bliss, as the bully, as whatever, was always going to be over. Alexa Bliss as a person is over. But she made that choice to stay that darker character with Lily and all that because she loved him so much. When you start, it goes back to like Gerard's wearing a Degeneration X shirt, right? Not because he's from an old folks' home and he has congenital degeneration, but because he fucking was there. We were there and we lived it. Jacob wasn't lucky enough yet because he was still the fucking glimmer in his daddy's eyeball before that happened.
My dad's nutsack.
But
right in, floating around.
In that time.
Dan, and think about it like this: Dan was just getting into professional wrestling.
No, I was a kid. No, I was not. I'm not that fucking old. Shit, calm down, motherfucker. I was old enough to enjoy it, man. I was watching the NWA with my dad as a kid.
I'm saying you would just get. Remember, this was probably happening when you were like 8 or 9 years old. So you were just getting into it.
I was 13. Calm down, okay?
Dan was out there, busting nuts to China, just.
I will not confirm or deny any of that. But what I'm saying is there was something called the Attitude Era, and I know people talk it into the ground, but
what the fuck is that? Why are you talking about that shit, man?
The facts are the facts. Wrestlers back then, it was a fucking Shark Tank, and either you eat or you to survive, or you eat somebody else, or whatever it may be, or you get fucking devoured by somebody else. Stone Cold Steve Austin was living proof that he was going to be on top, and it's going to take a hell of a man to knock him off that mountaintop. The Rock was up there. Triple H to some extent. The Undertaker. Every one of those guys fought for their fucking spot. There was a lot of backstabbing, but the beautiful thing about that time period is that these guys got to be themselves.
You know what's funny is as you're saying that, right? You know what's funniest to me was, what segment I looked forward to the most on Monday nights in that time period once they got together?
It's My Ass Club.
No. APA.
I can make my ass do tricks.
I would look forward to the APA just to see who they're gonna make walk through the fake door.
Yes, but again, though, if you look back at the old conversations of Bradshaw and Farouk, that was them. Vince saw them backstage playing cards, smoking cigars, and drinking beer, and said, "I want to put that on television." And he did. And for what it was, the APA, the Acolyte Protection Agency, was over big time. But these guys were allowed to be themselves. Fast forward all these years later, you watch Alexa Bliss be Alexa Bliss. It's amazing. You watch Charlotte Flair be Ashley Flair. It's amazing. Go and look at someone like Natalya, who's wrestling in AAA and being the legend that she is. The
By the way, I had a chance to see Natty because she came here to do a signing. I think it was yesterday or the day before, but very sad because I was in Nevada at the time. My mom is a big Natty Neidhart fan. She's the only wrestler that my mom likes.
That's what I'm saying. Don't you prefer her better when she's herself as that or whatever the fucking name she's called, something legend or whatever? When she's
I prefer when she was in 2010 when she was backstage and she was farting all the damn time. Like that was my favorite.
You're so full of shit. You're so full of shit.
You're one of those kind of guys, huh?
Honestly, that shit's fucking nasty, man.
What I'm saying is, fucker. What I'm saying is, when they're allowed to be themselves, how much more over are they? It's just fucking facts. When you try to shove,
it's kind of sad because she had this new when she's presented in AAA, dude, she looks like a fucking star.
She talked about that in an interview recently with I think it was Chris Van Vliet. She basically said, "I'm saving that because I don't want it." She goes, "I've worked very hard on." Oh, hold on, I've worked very hard on that, and I don't want anybody ruining it. And they will. You know damn well that they will.
That's what I'm saying. There's no goddamn chance. Really, dude, it's unfortunate. I mean, they're gonna probably save it for the Rumble, probably. There's gonna be
Okay, so I predicted the rise of fucking Maxine Dupree. Can we not say I didn't? Everybody can talk all the shit you want. I predicted the rise of Maxine Dupree.
Yeah.
You know who's taking that belt off her? Natty Neidhart.
I would hope so. Just fucking
the writing on the wall. It's the writing's on the wall.
Well, it's just we have all these faction. We've had factions. Have we ever had a female wrestler with some of these dullards from NXT that they have? Can we just get Natty some heaters, some dude heaters? Not don't have the dudes beat up the women, but you know what I'm saying?
We here at the Dorks podcast. I'm sorry, at the Marks podcast. Do not condone the assault and the attack of men.
No, but what I'm saying is Natty should have because when she does this entrance, she comes out with this entourage, when she does she should have
she has Team Taz with her basically.
Yeah, I think she should have she should be a mentor to guys in that, you know what I mean, in NXT.
If you're gonna do it right, and I think I was pretty good. I had a pretty good idea about this. If they do this, She should be the one who has her own facility, who's taken over the Stu Hart dungeon.
Just have him be the dungeon. Yeah,
Just
like
have it be
have
the
make an
fucking-
own faction.
no.
Have her be the leader.
Have her be the new dungeon.
Because if you heard, John Cena actually went up to the dungeon.
Yeah,
And she was talking to him and said, "You want me to give you time?" And so he's like, No. I want to go in there with everybody who's there. You know, I want to speak to him. He went up, talked to everybody individually, spoke to them all individually. And then, you know, the thing that when we talk about people like that is it goes back to last night to where the experience that was in the ring last night. Okay. On one side, the experience factor, and on the other side, the experience factor. Think about the people who were on the heels and on the baby faces. Asuka, world champion. Becky, world champion. Nia, been world champion. Rhea, Charlotte, AJ, Alexa, and
Io.
all 5 of them were world champion. The others, so you basically had just about everybody been a world champion.
Everybody in that match, everybody except for one person,
Yep.
was a world champion. And before we get to that, I do need to talk about what I feel was a bad choice. You should never wear ice cream colors as a fucking color for your singlet or whatever.
to infinity and beyond.
And so right now we're going to display it. And I'm not here to fucking body shame anybody, but
But Jacob, I thought you said this was sexy to you.
No, listen, here's the thing.
she was paying homage to the Padres, but she looked like a fucking creamsicle.
Here's the thing. Nia Jax came out there. I legitimately, because I saw it at the corner of my eye, I thought it was Buzz Lightyear attire. I legitimately was just like, oh shit, she's wearing a Buzz Lightyear outfit. That's cool, I guess. Because
How is that paying homage to the San Diego Padres who are brown and yellow?
And like literally, Nia Jax came out there. Again, Nia Jax, she's an attractive woman. She's not bad. It's just literally it wasn't
Some colors.
I didn't even think about it until
She's not. What would you call that? A summer, a winter, an autumn? What's that?
That looks like a sombrero cut up to go around her.
She's not a winter, as my wife would say.
Well, yes, I would say that too, but I didn't even think about it again because Nia Jax is an attractive woman. At least
I'm not
to
saying
me.
she's not. And I like a full.
But no.
There's nothing
When
wrong with
Gerard
that.
brought it up, yeah, it definitely
But I will go on
the
record
lips-
as saying
the
that
lips were
somebody was
lipping.
watching
We'll
this.
say
with me.
that. The
Hold on.
lips
Hold
were
on. I'm going to go on record to say that somebody was watching this with me, and I said, and when we were talking, you could see a front and a back camel toe.
Yep. So the lips were lipping, is I'll say.
She needs longer leggings, like she does.
Yeah, and honestly, she again, she shouldn't have worn white. If she
No,
would've
it's terrible color.
yeah, if she would have wore the pink with the white and the green, like if it was pink, I feel like it would have been fine.
Maybe a black.
But again, you know, again, I know she's a big gal and she
It has
wears
nothing to do with that. It was just a bad color.
No, I know, but like
No,
I'm just
it's
saying in
everything to
general.
do with it.
No, I know. In general, she has a camel toe as it is. Like that's what I'm saying.
Because the
Like,
pants are
that's-
horrific. She's a
Yeah,
bigger girl.
like-
White accentuates everything.
Yeah.
Those of us who
Like-
have big old booties, we don't wear white pants because it just accentuates how big the butt is. But she
Well,
needs
and
a
yeah, that's
longer
just like
short. She needs
Yeah.
shorts to cover up because that rides.
Welcome to the Marks
up.
podcast. We're talking fashion now.
well, and again, I mean, Nia is a very. I just think it shouldn't have just been all white.
Wait, and I
Correct.
don't believe.
It's
I don't.
I want to be fair. I want to put this out there. It wasn't a bad outfit. Like it wasn't like, oh,
Good
this
thing
is
she didn't have a Hershey squirt.
what.
You know, I don't, Gerard. I'm going to tell you this right now. I don't believe Jacob for a second because if I've ever said the name Nia Jax, you know, I've never heard Jacob go. Not once in the over
Okay,
50
listen.
episodes.
It's-
No. Shush. And over the 50 episodes of this program, never once have I heard.
No, I feel like I've done it
Jacoby-
once.
Jacoby McGovern go for Nia Jax. The man has gone for Jinder Mahal, but he's never gone for Nia Jax.
Listen. Okay, listen.
Okay, let's
Nia Jax. Nia Jax, I like, you know, to Warren and like I haven't. Nia Jax doesn't show enough. Nia Jax
I hear a lot.
Wait, hold on.
Nia Jax doesn't.
Tell me what the difference between Nia Jax and Willow Nightingale is.
Okay, so listen.
I've done
a lot of Will Nightingale.
No, hold on. Hold on, Gerard. Watch your tone.
Man, Willow Nightingale.
Willow. You know what? Pull up Willow.
See,
Nightingale.
I love Willow Nightingale because again, like she is like fucking just her face is beautiful. Everything about her personality. Her personality is good. I'm a personality guy. I like.
Are you really? Are you a personality guy?
Yes, I am. You did.
That's what it is right now.
I'm a deep guy, deep down.
Deep. In your butthole,
deep down. No, yeah, but like Nia, she like showing skin and stuff. It is what it is. Like, this.
I want a woman's perspective too, because we got this image over here.
I'm just saying she shouldn't have worn white. Not saying it was bad. Like it was, she looked fine. She should have worn, like, if it was pink, white, and green. Like if she wore pink, it would have been a fine outfit.
Like if you put Willow and Nia next to each other for Jacob.
No, listen. That's not even. Come on. That's not even a comparison. Come on. Willow is objectively more attractive than Nia, but I'm just saying.
Instant. Not a hesitation in there.
Dude, if I saw Will Nightingale, I don't know what I would do.
Gerard, I heard every fucking vowel in that motherfucker before, other than I heard and not a one just a
All right, well, listen.
I heard a ting tang while I'm about a bing bang. I did not hear one.
No, dude, I would love to do that to EO Sky, man. I mean,
I was gonna say me. I was like, what the fuck? Get the fuck out of Jacob. We haven't talked about some stuff.
No, but listen, let's talk about this War Games match because I would say as an opener,
there was great. It wasn't
as a match.
It wasn't the same though, Jacob. It wasn't the same in the sense that the only spot we got, which I thought was actually worthwhile, was the normal we all expected from the woman who's been in every War Games, EO Sky, in the trash can spot. I think they relied too much on this spot, thinking it was going to be a big deal. I did enjoy Rhea's mask. I'm not the biggest Terrifier fucking fan, but I enjoyed her when she wears that mask. But that trash can spot was over-delivered, I think. It wasn't the same as the other ones where it was shocking. None of it felt like it started and it ended. But I was like, I enjoyed this match. I'll tell you what I really enjoyed. I'll tell you the point that I think they did an excellent job. Lash Legend being the last person to enter War Games. And here's why.
I will say, to sleep?
Fuck that. No, fuck that. I will say that woman is better than Jade Cargill has been in AEW. That woman is better than Jade Cargill has been in WWE. And that Lash Legend, whatever you say about her, she's beautiful. She's athletic. She knows what she's doing in the ring. She knows how to wrestle like a big person. And
she got some since Thursday.
Let it go. Let it go.
I
work with animals in the
Gerard,
show.
You're way too focused on triple.
You're worse than Jacob Jacoby right now. You know that?
Listen,
what I'm saying is, if you can't, no one can deny that they did an excellent job pushing. And wife, you were there. We watched it. Lash Legend looked like $1 million coming out there whooping that ass. The right team won, I believe. Setting up which I'm going to believe is Nia Jax and Lash Legend against the Kabuki Warriors with what happened in the match.
What I liked about, and I'm the one we're totally going around haven't mentioned, AJ Lee.
Yeah,
she didn't do anything in the match, unfortunately.
Came up over the cage. Her and Becky go at each other. They had the right woman get the victory over the right woman. Okay?
I agree.
That's the only thing to me that was special about the match, other than what took away from AJ Lee's entrance was later on in the night somebody entered the ring the same way.
I don't think so. I think he was paying tribute to his wife, and I think I'm always going to support that. My issue here, and it's going to go back to a match we're going to talk about later on, and I hate to be the one to burst everybody's bubble. Y'all expect AJ Lee to be the best of the best in the ring and this and that. But the fact of the facts, look at later on. We're going to talk about Stephanie Vicaire and Brie Bella. I'm sorry, Nikki Bella. Nikki Bella can't wrestle her way out of a fucking paper bag. I'm sorry. But remember, she came from the same era as AJ Lee. AJ Lee was so good because she was a glimpse of what was to come in the future.
Just go watch the promo that she cut about those girls.
No, and I get that. The promos or whatever, but it has to be followed in the ring. And if you go for looking at what we have now, looking at the Naomis of the world, looking at the fucking Stephanie Vicaires, the Julius, yes, I'm going to fucking praise Julia always because I know what she's capable of doing. Even look, Maxine Dupree and how far she's grown. AJ Lee was a precursor to all that. She wasn't them. And AJ's great. AJ's amazing. AJ can talk on the mic. AJ's athletic. But you're also talking about a woman that wasn't quite to their level yet. She was the beginning of their level.
Would you say she was too much ahead of her time?
I would absolutely say that.
Yeah, definitely.
And the reason why I bring it up because WWE Shop actually has the shirt of the quote that she said. I'm your favorite wrestler.
Yes.
Which goes to tell me is the fact of people saw her just like she saw Lita. She wanted to do things Lita didn't do.
Exactly. And if you look back, compare Lita to what we have now, Lita came back. And remember, Lita's Lita, right?
She's far. People have to slow down for Lita to catch up.
Exactly.
And Lita,
her day.
And Lita had to slow down for people to catch up to her.
And there's somebody who wins matches that is fucking never lost, and that's Father Time. Okay, you can't expect to see a 23-year-old AJ out there because she's not 23 anymore. Like Punk, the Punk is a great nostalgia act, and he can still go in the ring to some regard. Look back at him and MJF in that dog collar match. If you I mean, it was amazing. But CM Punk is not the CM Punk.
Well, let me ask you this,
dude. He looked like after when him and Roman. By the way, fucking we're gonna get into that, but terrible ending to fucking War Games. By the way, the way they ended the pay-per-view was fucking stupid. But
Chris Jericho did a horrible job.
That was 100% Chris Jericho with how fast he climbed up the cage and climbed.
Here's a question for you.
But Punk just looked fucking disheveled, man.
But again, looking at to what you said, AJ, I don't expect, and that's a misconception I think people are having. Not that she's not good, not that she's not great. I don't see AJ Lee being AJ Lee of fucking 7 years ago. It's not gonna be.
So let me ask you this: if the age limit for men nowadays is 50, what's the age limit for women? Because Charlotte, if I'm right, is 41 years old. Asuka is older than Charlotte.
Yeah. Becky
Lynch is right around that age too. But you have some of these younger girls getting in the mix. My question is, I think Becky was 37 or something like that. But they say men wrestlers at 50 years old, that's when Father Time is catching up with them. Think about who's on the roster right now who's approaching that age limit. Randy, John, there's a couple of names like I'm not bringing up right now. CM Punk. You got some guys who could be approaching 50 years old. Now, for the women, is 40 the magic number? Is 45?
I don't think it fucking matters.
It's not really again, you got to look during the Divas era, they weren't given really the chance to wrestle. Really,
and Gerard, this is all new territory because remember, if we're talking about that era. Right, we're talking about the Divas era. Until when your tits started to sag and your ass wasn't perky anymore, that's when they threw you to the fucking curb.
Well, yeah, it's just like you just said. Hold on, Jake. Because what you just said was okay. There's going to be a point in time where some of these women, you just talked about Father Time. Father Time isn't going to be their downfall. Okay, motherhood is going to be their downfall, and what I mean by that is. The women who want to have this as a profession and motherhood, which one are they gonna choose? I, as a person who watches and stuff like that, look at it and say, listen, if you want to go off and have your family, go off and have a family. But don't fake the fact that you want to stay and be the entertainer.
I don't think. See, me and you will always argue about this because I don't think you're right. I don't think
that's. here's the thing. Before we get into this, like I don't know if we're going to, but like here's the thing. Like with women, like in this business specifically, like I was getting to these, like the diva, like the fact that we're even considering Michelle McCool like a Hall of Famer is ridiculous to me because again,
she already is.
Yeah, no, but like the fact that they talk about her in this situation, like that she was a great, like Michelle McCool trained for 3 years and then was on TV for 3 years and then that's it. Mickey, like so when you get someone like Mickey James, who went through OVW, is very like is a veteran basically.
She's going on 25 years.
Yeah, but like what you're saying is like, does age affect these women wrestlers? I don't know because I've seen like when Trish Stratus gets back in the ring, like she's had terrible performances and then she has a good performance.
Let me ask you this. I'm not again.
When you have someone like Awesome Kong, man, when Awesome Kong was in AEW, people were like, "Oh, Awesome Kong is, she's a little step behind," but it's like she looked better than half of the whole roster because.
Let me ask you this, Jacob.
Had the bump Alice, you know.
We're talking about because Hall of Fames are subjective. The Hall of Fames are subjective to whoever owns that Hall of Fame. Let's just call it what it was. Let me ask you this though: does Michelle McCool, when she would appear at Royal Rumbles, get pops? Let's just be honest.
Would she get a pop from the live crowd?
No. Did she get a pop when she fucking jumped? I'm not talking about just the first time because she definitely got a pop the first time.
Oh, when she jumped the rail?
When she jumped the rail and her fucking Uggs went out there, she got a pop, right?
Yeah, well, of course she did.
Okay.
So she get a pop though.
Fucking James Ellsworth would have got the same fucking response.
Hold on.
What I'm saying is, hold on.
Does she get a pop for who she is or who she's married to?
No, fuck that. No, I'm not talking about who she's married to. This had nothing to do with who she was married to. She came out of the ring to the ring. She got a pop. The first ever women's Royal Rumble, she got a pop. No one gave a fuck that she was married to the Undertaker. But
what you're talking about though, when she sat up, she was sitting next to the Undertaker when that happened.
But what I'm saying is, no one gives a fuck that she's married to Mark Calloway. Okay, no one gave a shit. She came out there, she did her thing, she got a pop. And for those people, and I get it because you were part of that ruthless aggression era, but I'm sick of this, okay? Because the woman did her time. The woman that came out there, her and Lay Cool did their thing. You may not like her.
You're not mentioning she didn't do it on her own, dude.
I get that. And Layla's 100% deserving of credit as well. But
no, she deserves all the credit.
What I'm saying is this: Michelle McCool is still one of those people that kept a very good relationship, and it's not always what you do in front of the camera; it's what you do in the back as well with those, especially with that company.
Blow.
So let me ask you this.
No, sorry, that was out of pocket. I feel.
Let me ask you this though: if Michelle McCool went in, should Melina have gone in at the same time?
I think Melina should absolutely, as a first ballot Hall of Fame worthy for everything she did. Was Melina in there for as long as her? No, Melina was there kind of like a cup of coffee. She had a lot of controversy with her, and
see, like I was just making a joke just then because Melina is someone who was famously like behind the scenes, blowing.
100%.
I was just making a joke, but like I just think in ring, like, see, this is the thing. So in ring wise, Melina is better than Michelle McCool, but Michelle McCool, like from all accounts, Michelle McCool, like she was straight lace. She never did anything. An Undertaker,
God-fearing Christian woman,
fell in love with her because she could throw a football, basically. So,
but she was in there doing it day after day. She did stuff you'll never be able to do. Let's just say it like it is.
What? I'm a better athlete than Michelle McCool.
I don't believe that for a second. Could you go in there and I've watched it. I've looked back because after all this stuff happened with her and they're arguing about her being on 6 feet up, 6 feet under. Yes, it is a stolen move. You know what? So is fucking Mrs. Skull Crushing Finale. He stole it from fucking.
Well, and the 6 feet under stuff is just like.
I think it's ridiculous. But my thing is this: her and he have really good chemistry together. I really enjoy their program together. I enjoy it. And I'm a jaded piece of shit. But she went out there and she did a Styles Clash, if not as well, but better than anybody else could have done it other than AJ. She went out there, she took chances. She was a fucking school teacher and went out there and started wrestling and did something that like 99% of people in the world can't do. And if you did that, and you were successful, and you were the very first Divas champion, you were the head of a division that nobody wanted, and you try to put that on your back, she got fucked. Let's be honest. She won the belt, and then they had to fucking relegate that to the fucking pre-shows for 6 months before they ever got ever back. That wasn't her fault. She did.
I'm not saying it's her fault specifically.
But then why did she get all the hate for that?
No, she gets the hate because of the the reason why by the way, I think Michelle McCool, the person, is probably great. She could kick my ass. She could
you're putting the blame on the Undertaker. Well, watch this, Gerard.
No. I'm saying the whole podcast. It's just. Does she? I don't think she has that great chemistry with Undertaker.
I think she does, because that's and this is a husband talking about a husband and wife doing. Now, Gerard, I'll ask you this.
To be fair, yeah, I'll bow out because again, I don't know maybe it just seems to me like the podcast. I'm just going by the podcast because the podcast was better without her on it. I'm just saying that.
Gerard, I'm going to ask you this, Gerard.
My bad.
You love your wife. You love your wife, right?
Yep.
If someone came to you and said, Gerard, we want your wife to be in our Hall of Fame. We want your wife to be in our Hall of Fame.
It's like any good man will say, I would take a backseat to her anytime.
Okay.
Yeah, see, I don't argue that. I 100%.
No one can blame her husband for loving his wife so much that when someone says, I want her in the Hall of Fame, you motherfucking right, I want you in the Hall of Fame because you were the
listen, at the end of the day, you have to live with her.
That has nothing to do with that.
Bullshit.
You love your wife.
Right.
And
don't tell me nothing to do with the fact that
no one can tell me that my wife is not Hall of Fame.
No, I'm just saying the fact of when you ask it like that, when you see it like that, here's the thing. Who's supposed to be your number one supporter? Good or bad, your number one supporter is your spouse or your significant other. That's your number one supporter. Good, bad, or indifference. And you know what? You support your spouse or significant other in the best way possible.
And I think that they should be applauded because even through all this bullshit, they have not supported each other.
And I'm going to tell you this right now. The way Mark has handled it.
Like a man. Like a fucking man.
He basically
Undertaker is not like a guy who really is not, he doesn't pull punches about how he feels sort of thing. I just think their chemistry on the podcast is not the best, as far as like a flowing podcast, especially when they have guests. But for people to attack the Undertaker and to be like, oh, how could you give her a platform? Like, who is she to you, sort of thing? It's like
I look at it like this.
I agree with that,
and I'm hoping you understand this. Undertaker to take his microphone tomorrow, put it down, and say, you know what? I don't need this shit anymore. Dude, I did 30 years. He did 30
you know what it comes
years.
Down to? I would look, man, Trips talk about it all the time. I love doing this with y'all. But if tomorrow she said, look, I want to do a time slot with you and me, and I want it to be what Mark's.
Oh, yeah. No,
bro, I love y'all. I'm going to be with my wife, man.
I'm just saying, that's where I'm going with it. He could take tomorrow. Hey, he did it for 30 years by himself. Tomorrow, he could say, you know what? The fans, I tried to give you a piece of me, but you have taken advantage.
I'm nothing without her. I get that from him. Like that, you want a piece of me? Well, she is me, motherfucker.
Yep. This is the woman. Listen. Good, bad, or indifference, whether you like it or not.
He's even come out and said he made him a better man.
Well, I'm just more of the wrestling aspect of it because, I'm just kind of in the mindset of what has Michelle McCool ever done?
Again, and you can argue that she was,
but that's just wrestling. That's just my dumb bullshit. I don't give a shit what's going on behind the scenes. I'm just saying, if the Undertaker wants to have a podcast with his wife that's boring as shit, then let him have a fucking podcast.
Hey, I look at it like this.
Boring as shit. But again, I don't need you know what I mean? The Undertaker's not making content for me, Jacob McGovern in fucking Arizona.
No, you didn't say that, right? He said that.
It's 2025.
I can't. I'm not gonna disparage the Undertaker. Will I disparage the Undertaker for throwing his co-host to the side? Yeah, maybe. But it's his co-host shouldn't be going out there and just being looking like a disheveled prisoner of war.
I'm gonna say this. Hold on. What did Jacob just say? He's not making a podcast for me, right? Well, let's roll it back. Jey Uso.
All I was going to say is,
Jey Uso is not
when it
for
comes to
you,
that-
Jacob. But he's
Listen.
control.
Now, again, I immediately listen. I agree with you on
What?
that, Dan, because
He
I thought
sounds like
about
he's
this.
not, this is going to be his Nia Jax argument again.
Listen. Can we throw the Jacobs corner for a second? Because
We
this
could
is
have
not
still
a
had
this is
it.
not a rant, Dan. You're gonna be surprised about this. This is not a rant coming up.
All right,
This is
give
a
him
situation.
carte blanche. Let him do what he's got to do.
Yeah,
We
All
don't
right,
have the Jacobs corner thing, but yeah, give him full screen.
All right, so
Give him full screen.
all right, here we go. Jacobs corner. He rants and raves and slaying cunts in his place. I don't know. I had that part. Yeah. But anyways, here's the thing with this. Jey Uso. Let's just ignore the fact that he came out there, and I'm fucking elated that they didn't have him get the Roman and Brock spot, because I was wholeheartedly thinking, oh man, that's why they don't have the cages, because they're gonna have fucking Jey Uso come out from the crowd as the last man. Brock's gonna come beat up everyone, and then what's happening? Oh no, it's Jey, and then fucking Jey Uso's dumb music would have hit. But I will say this: I came to a realization last night. I officially realized that, man, I was that kid in that audience. I probably would have been that kid yeeting, and I would have pissed my dad off, because I remember a certain Jacob McGovern at WrestleMania 26 when John Cena was fighting Batista, and I was wearing full-on John Cena, orange shirt with the wristbands and the fucking thing, and I was going off about how Cena was the greatest and how Batista can never beat him, and Super Cena won that night. And just seeing, how many of those kids were eating, I'm just like, God damn it. I'm just like, I felt like a hypocrite for the first time in my life. I'm just like, well, man, because I bet there's probably people hating on Jeff Hardy when I was wearing the fucking wristbands, painting my face on Halloween, doing the fucking thrusting my junk, even though I was 8 years old and I should have been doing that in fucking class. But, as shitty as Jey Uso is, and as shitty as that was when he was humping the fucking, steel cable that held the cage down, I got it for the first time. I'm just like, wow, this is shitty. And I really wish someone else was in this role. But good for Jey Uso. But for the first time in my life, I felt like a hypocrite. And, that made me sad. But anyways, I'm here to talk about Red Pandas. Honestly, I think my favorite version of the Red See, I'm waiting for like the music to cut me off. But like we don't have it. But no, but like I would say again, I probably would be a young Jacob McGovern yeeting, probably pissing my dad off.
And I'm glad that it took 50 plus episodes to get here, but Jacob finally admitted he gets it, he understands. And it's like, look, Jey Uso in ring.
Oh, it's fucking horrible. Don't get me wrong.
He's not great for me. I don't think he is.
Oh, he's retarded. I'm sorry. Well, I mean, he's very special, I would say. I know Rikishi. I know Rikishi loves him very much. That's all I'll say.
Does he love Jimmy as much?
Dude, Big Jim, man. Can we talk about Big Jim? He came out there with his theme song with his fucking rainbow bright fucking shirt. I don't know what the fuck that. It looked cool, but it looked like kind of like
his wife has the glow.
See, man,
and apparently he must have super semen because it.
Dude, is it twins or is it's a boy too, right? Or
it's Miracle Baby.
Dude, I was waiting for the twins announcement. I'm just like, watch this motherfucker have twins, because like Jey and Roman both have like 2 sets of twins, don't they, or something like that? Yeah, that's fucking insane. Yeah, no. So I mean, fuck, man. I mean, we talked about the women's war games, I think, enough. I mean, it wasn't honestly. I will say this, and again, we're gonna talk about Jacoby being a hypocrite. I would say this women's match was not as good as women's blood and guts.
It wasn't. It wasn't a great. It wasn't the worst match of the night, but it wasn't the best.
I just feel like there was a lot of miscommunication. There was a lot of
Dude, I have an 80-inch TV. And you can see every fuck up. And when you know, if you come down for fucking Mania next year, you're gonna see. You don't miss anything on an 80-inch TV.
That means you must have got a good look at Nia's ass.
Well, see, I mean, you couldn't fucking miss it. I mean, it was just like right in the fucking view.
Hey, sorry, Trip. He set himself up for that.
So
I mean, you couldn't fucking miss it. Like,
we're gonna
really,
move on to the next match.
The only part of the show he didn't sleep through, by the way.
There's some things, Dan, you gotta keep to yourself.
Yeah.
I don't even
Well,
say anything.
and by the way, before we
word.
move on for this, the women's war games was
Eh?
but
Well, you know what's sad is
we got to get on to this. Like, I don't know what the fuck they're doing with Chelsea Green, but they need to, like, because Chelsea Green got attacked by Jade Cargill on Friday Night SmackDown. I don't know why we have the heel women's champion attacking the heel United States champion.
because as much as she's a heel, people think she's funny with her
It's
stupid
Chelsea.
Dude,
But what I was gonna say is
Chelsea Green, man. I don't know, man. I don't know what it. I would do anything
Just
for.
say it. Just say it. Just say it.
I woke up this morning.
Hold on, Gerard. Just say it. There we go.
That came from the soul, man. That kind of hurt. That came from the soul. But literally, I don't know what they're doing unless they want Chelsea Green to be the double champion at WrestleMania this year. Why would you have Jade Cargill interrupt that segment? That's all I gotta say about it.
Bianca's facing Jade at Mania. We know that. There's no other way. There's no other way.
But the next match is John Cena.
Yeah, and you know,
Turn it down.
But before we go on that, I just want to say I woke up this morning and I looked online to a lot of the comments, and you would not believe how many people online thought last night's show was a good show. People coming out of the stadium thought it was a good show, and I'm like, 46,000 people in a live building were not watching what we were watching at home, because
or maybe we're just not. It's not for us anymore.
oh no, it's still for us, but you know what's not for me anymore? Stupid booking.
And speaking
Because we're going into this next match,
so
we
okay,
can talk about
before we start, I gotta say,
booking.
I have to say, Dominic. Other than I think he needs to fill out a little more up top, get a little more muscle mass. You know, if he's gonna pull the Eddie Guerrero gimmick, he needs to look like Eddie. But man, he's really won me over. You know,
last night he didn't.
no, but I don't blame him for that. I blame booking for that.
Oh,
You know what?
and I say, so you've known for weeks that you were going to do this. And last night's Gaga is the best you could come up with. Having everybody and their brother come out to help you, faking an injury, having the referee not do a count because
Oh God, I knew.
Why wasn't a DQ?
As soon as the referee fucked up, Gerard was going to be on it.
Why wasn't a DQ called right away? He watched the women do what they did. Why did he call for a DQ right away? Instead of not doing the count, then throwing them out. What the hell? You watched them do it.
Trips, I don't know if you're you know this, but you know wrestling's fake, right?
I told
What?
you.
You know that wrestling's fake, right? Like everything's predetermined.
Here's my thing.
Why do you have to ruin everything?
Dummy.
I have a 50-year-old man over here who's fucking having a conniption and crying over the fact that wrestling is. He thinks it's real.
No,
still.
it's not
Okay.
that.
No, he was very upset.
the
He thought
fact-
Jessica
oh.
Carr was going to get involved in that last match, and he was.
Oh,
saying,
fucking! Don't even
better
get
not-
started with that.
My thing about it is this, okay? You dummied down the audience so much, you took away common sense. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Miking up the referees to where they get that stupid earpiece is the worst thing that could ever happen. What we watched last night, you made the referee look so stupid. I would have to give Aubrey Edwards more credit than the ref that was in that match last night.
No, I'm just kidding. So Here's the thing, man. With I don't know.
That
What
Satin looked exactly.
I heard my lady Jess. I heard her name be invoked, and I had to come in. First of all, I'm surprised that Jessica Carr hasn't been involved because they've kind of talked about this with Becky Lynch and her storyline. I'm hoping that she does.
And then she doesn't have nothing to do with the match in her match. She had nothing to do with it. But
I'm hoping she. Yeah, see that's kind of stupid. I would have done it because again, I gotta say this: fucking Jessica Carr. I've seen her wrestle, under a mask, and Evolve. I've seen her wrestle before on the Indies. Like she's. I don't know. I'll say this: she's better than fucking Nia Jax ever was. At least beginning. And yeah, I'm surprised they didn't do anything with that. At least just have Jessica Carr give the assist.
But my thing was, so now, like I said, now we go to this other match to where, now don't get me wrong. Let's take away from what the referee and the calls and stuff like that were. It wasn't a good match.
It was not literally. It was kind of unfortunate because I was looking forward to this match. The crowd reactions alone in the beginning got me hyped because everyone was behind Dom, everyone was behind Cena, and then of course that's how it was good.
So I think we measured our expectations too high because that match.
No, here's the thing. I agree with you on that, Dan. But here's the thing. I think that. I mean, just again, we're getting toward people saying, "Oh, this isn't I see people saying, "Oh, Cena's going to come back for that Saudi Mania," and I'm just I don't think so, man, because Cena
he doesn't need it.
Just he's not when he says I can't deliver as I could. I believe him because he doesn't he's not as good as he was.
The first 619 hit last night. Did that even touch Cena?
No, it came nowhere near Cena, and it was just you could tell it was just them going through the motions, and it's again, I wanted Dom to win the match. Again, it's kind of like the inverse sometimes. It's there's terrible execution, great journey, but it's this was.
Tell me if you agree, because I said this to Dan earlier. If Dom Mysterio had rolled up Cena, grabbed his trunks, 1, 2, 3. Rolls out of the ring. Cena's in the ring what the hell just happened? That came across better to me than the junk that came across last night.
Yeah, it was way convoluted for no fucking reason. Again, I don't know what it is about Raquel, but Raquel just looks better every single week. I think they need to put her on TV every single week.
You just Liv last night too, didn't you?
Liv looked great, but I don't know what it was, but Raquel just stole the show for me. I was just good goddamn, step on my face. But it literally the whole match was just off. I wouldn't say awkward because you could tell.
Okay, so I don't
know, Dan. You tell me.
Let me ask you both this. Okay, so what we've seen from he's capable of him taking the ass whooping from Lesnar, the match he had with Cody. The fucking what's going on, Chayton? The fucking match, the fucking instant classic he had with fucking AJ Styles. Were we going into this match already assuming something like that, and we didn't get that, so we're disappointed? I'm not saying it was the best match, and I think Gerard has something to be, something to be said that a quick roll up would have been a better fucking way to go. 100%, no denying that. 100%. What I'm saying is, I think we set our expectations too high. And I think John himself has come out and said, I can't keep producing that kind of match. I think, if anything, he's saving it for his last appearance on Saturday night's main event.
And that's why I say the cheap win for Dom last night, they have a great match, but the cheap win, to me, Cena's about to give he's about to give the FU. Dom does a quick roll-up, 1, 2, 3. Cena's in the ring looking, what the hell just happened?
Hold on, I want to say this to one of our biggest fan supporters and one of my closest friends. Chayton, happy birthday, my friend.
Hell yeah, happy birthday, Chayton. Well, it's just because the way it was because the way Dom won was just so heelish that you would think that Cena needs to get comeuppance for this, and that there needs to be a rubber match, of some kind,
Why? All that
because Cena beat Dom for the title, and then this is Dom's rematch, and then he had all shenanigans, in a traditional wrestling sense is what I'm talking about. And Like, same thing like with the Brock Lesnar match. Like, Brock Lesnar totally beat John Cena for no fucking reason, and that never went anywhere. That's why I was thinking the way that this was done with Cena coming out, I was like, okay, well, Big Jim's going to be taken out, and then they're going to have like, who's going to be the last minute? And then, boom, Cena comes out, the biggest War Games match ever. Would have been fucking beautiful, but they didn't do that. So I don't.
To be fair, though, I also
think they're gonna make again by the end of this, like that's what I'm saying. It was a great execution, terrible journey to get to where, like, because I wanted Dom to win regardless. But if this was where we're gonna get, where Dom looks so definitive over Cena, why wasn't that the fucking retirement match?
Let me throw you this at you. Let me throw the curveball at you. What if this is their way of protecting him from getting injured? Because God, what would have ruined that last match at fucking Saturday Night's Main Event more than him putting on another classic with Dom, getting hurt somehow, and not being able to perform to the level he needs to for Saturday Night Main Event?
I get your point there. But my thing was this, okay? What you did last night, first of all, a woman picking him up, scoop slamming him, slamming him. And then Roxanne doing her move.
She's a big gal.
No, and then JD McDonough his. He went for his. John blocked it. What's his face goes for his move. John rolls out of the way. My thing about that was all this. Then you have Liv Morgan come down. Why did it shouldn't have taken so many people, because your interference in that match last night took longer than I think the match itself took last night.
Well, and again, the fucking...
And my thing is, the people who are producing the segments of the match, I think, first of all, Michael P.S. Hayes, your best days are behind you. Okay?
I would have said that 10 years ago, but whatever.
If it's Brian Armstrong doing stuff like this, his best days are behind him. Unfortunately for us, and you guys will understand this, when you see some of the names who are trying to be producers nowadays, you're asking people who are never great superstars in the ring.
I'm glad you said that. I'm glad you said that. And it's gonna, before we go into the next match, I want to transition to something that Gerard was bitching about on my way home from my activities today. He bitched about a former wrestler who was great. I mean, amazing. I mean, some would say he was the best there is, the best there was, and the best there ever will be. And you know, there's an argument that this man once stated where he basically said the reason why wrestling booking sucks is because you have a bunch of fucking losers who were never champions booking wrestling. And you know who that was? Bret the Hitman Hart. And, you know, and then you have Gerard in the same breath while I'm driving home bitching about Bret Hart speaking his mind, never biting his tongue, never pulling a fucking Becky Lynch. No, he says, two guys that I know in that company were taking it in the ass, and that's what's happening. And I want them to come out and admit it.
Wait a minute. Whoa, hold up. I've only said what he said, okay, was a rumor. But he's acting in...
Yeah, this is Bret Hart that said this, not me. I'm just repeating what the man said.
2025, he has to go back to something that was in the mid-90s. 30 years ago.
You can bitch all you want, Gerard, but if
wait, before we get into this, because again, like I'm not really sure what's going on. You know, man, Bret Hart and Shawn Michaels. I don't know. There's no history there. But I just gotta say, Gerard. Back in that era, was it ever like rumored like that? You know,
no, it was because it was
Shawn
Gerard.
And Vince
it was Gerard.
Listen, I'll put it like this. Everybody who was on top was rumored to be sleeping with Vince.
So okay, but here's the thing, Gerard. Like, so
hold on, Jacob. Jacob, are you confirming that you, Gerard Millette, are a member of the Mr. McMahon Kiss My Ass Club?
I was already gone.
Oh,
well, here's the thing. Like, was it ever rumored that Vince like had homosexual tendencies, or like was it just like he's sleeping?
You're the one who did the documentary.
Was it just like he's sleeping? Was it
we have an expert here who has done an hour-long documentary with full research who can actually come on and talk about the allegations.
I was going to say, what rock have you been living under?
I am not an expert on Vince's rumored homosexual tendencies.
I'm burying the lead.
Yes, it's been discussed ad nauseum. Yes. And that Shawn Michaels was definitely, allegedly, one of them.
But it's not. Like, I'm saying it's not the worst kept secret in the world.
But Brett brings it out like it's fact now because he's still so bitter.
That's what I'm saying.
Well, I mean, again, what are they going to do? Are they going to sue him for defamation? Like, they can't. Like, they can't. Like,
they would think they would.
I mean, they can. Like,
because here's how he said it. The rumor was, okay. Key words. The rumor was him and Vince, Shawn and Vince were sleeping with each other. Now, Brett went on with it a little bit more than that. But I'm like,
yeah, he said he wants him to come out and apologize for fucking him over because you're fucking Sean.
Yeah, imagine the sex tape of that would be, worth, like fucking.
But to be fair, Vince was involved. Hey, Vince was rumored to be involved with everybody. Vince was rumored to be involved with everybody,
including Gerard.
I wasn't the champion.
Including Gerard. That's why the X marks the spot. That's where he would finish.
I mean, listen, like, we're talking about Vince McMahon.
Hold on, Jacob, did you not hear? That's that X right there where it marks the spot. That's where he would finish.
Oh, man, that's just nasty.
Listen, I'm going to send you some big tea bags.
Man, remember when this was just about, reviewing Survivor Series and talking about war games?
Well, if you want to put it that way, where did the whole Vince and Brett thing start at? Survivor Series. So we are talking about Survivor.
We are still talking about Survivor Series.
Is that what we're calling full circle now?
Yeah.
No pun intended, Trips. We've come full circle.
Well, and, oh, man. Okay, so here's the thing. I mean, if Vince and Shawn were, bumping uglies, as they say,
not that there's anything wrong with that.
Not that there's anything wrong with that. Exactly, Trips. Like, again, Trips needs to just be here permanently. I don't know, like, why she's not. It's sad. Because, but anyways, if Shawn and Vince were bumping uglies, like it's pretty much allegedly, it's pretty much been a known fact. And it's just what was funny about this was just Brett just like nonchalantly just being like, "Oh no, I'm serious." Like the crowd would just start dying laughing when he said, "Yeah, I'm pretty sure they were gay lovers," and like the whole crowd would just start. He's like, "No, I'm serious." It's like, what? Why are you laughing? He's just like, it's a matter of fact.
But again, everybody gets pissed off and says they don't understand why Brett's so pissed off at Vince. Motherfucker ruined his life. The decisions that Vince made, which ultimately led for him to go to WCW, which is one of the, if not the most poorly run company ever. Let's just call it what it is. He got kicked in the face by a fucking inept fucking piece of shit that they tried to push to the top, which ultimately led to his stroke and ultimately led to his fucking concussion protocol and everything else. All while Vince could have paid out his contract. All Brett wanted to do was wrestle and create a vault of classic matches for Vince. He loved Vince like a father, and the man he considered a father. See, that little bubblehead in the back looks like it's fucking Gerard's conscience going, "Shut the fuck up, Gerard. Whatever you're about to say, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up, shut the fuck up." But everything that Brett has said bleeds like a guy who got like done dirty by someone he loved like a fucking father. It bleeds like two brothers getting into a fucking scuffle and one father taking and loving the other son more than the other. Like if you look at Brett and Shawn, like they were brothers, how would you feel? How would you feel if your father went and told you, "Yeah, I'm going to pick this guy over you"? Vince fostered a culture of, "Oh, I'm like your dad. I got to build a relationship with him." And
let me ask you a question though, business wise, for Vince, was it a bad decision?
Yeah, because Shawn never drew fucking money.
No, but if you think about the,
I mean, neither did Brett too, to be honest.
Well, no, Brett drew fucking money.
Brett drew money. Like he didn't draw ratings. He draw merch. There's a big
What I'm
difference.
saying is,
But yeah, but Shawn wasn't drawing. Who's still wearing a fucking Shawn Michaels t-shirt?
Hey,
That is very true.
Era took off because of what Vince did to Bret Hart.
I would believe that, but how much more money would he have made if he said if they could have brought Brett back in the right circumstance? I don't think for all okay. So hold on, Vince's big argument was that he had to get the belt off of fucking Brett because he didn't know if he was going to fuck him. Well, you had a guy in Bret Hart who had played ball and never used his creative control, never done anything else. He finally said, "Look, this guy disrespected me. As a man I respect, as the guy who's brought me into this, the least you can do is make it right. I'll drop the belt to anybody, just not him."
Yeah, I mean, like in any other circumstance, like I would be like, well, I mean, it's Vince's company.
Okay, so hold on.
But Vince allowed Brett to have creative control.
Well, so beyond that, you had two guys who are still buddies with the fucking Shawn Michaels up to this point in the clique that fucked you and left. But you're going to take the side of the guy that's their friend instead of the guy who doesn't want to go anywhere. He even said, "Can we call the kibosh on this right now?" How much more over would it have been if Brett never went to WCW, he got fucked in Montreal, stayed at home for 6 months, and came back?
Here's one for you. Brett's own brother and brother-in-law stayed. So that just goes to tell you how bad it really was. When his own family stayed. Now, so all these years, we don't know what really happened. We have Brett's side. Vince has never come out and fully told his side.
Yeah, well, let me ask you this. Who's over there right now being accused of all these horrible things and people believe it? Who's the one who's been in fucking scandal after scandal after scandal? And who's been fucking living a pretty squeaky clean life is still one of the most respected professionals in the history of wrestling. Yes, he had a
Miz.
And you want to know why? Because give me anybody Bret Hart has attacked other than Vince McMahon.
He's a piece of shit.
No, well, I mean, like Brett really, like when he talks about Vince, like nowadays he talks about like after the whole scandal came out, he was like, "Oh, Vince is a piece of shit." But like before that, he would like still like, I really respected Vince. You know, he was a father figure to me, and
and he still collects a check.
And if you still hear like a lot of these people, like Becky Lynch, a lot like still like to this day, like people will still like, yeah, John Cena himself. You know, Vince. You know, he's like my father.
Because he's a different man. Look, you know what? The only person that's ever told Vince to stick it was Phil Brooks. Because he said Vince had this weird fucking thing where he wanted everybody to be like his dad. He goes, "I have a fucking dad. You're my boss. Fuck off."
Yeah.
You know,
everybody, everybody, like, and I'll say it plain. This is exactly how I feel about it. Everybody wanted Vince to be their dad because he was the one signing their fucking paychecks. And if you're tight with the old man, you're going to make better money.
I'm glad you
I feel like part of that is true, but like I feel like part of that is true, but like I've heard testimonies from like people who are like, "Oh, Vince really took an instrument." Like
you know why, Jacob? You know why he wanted to be their daddy? Not only that, but you want to know why he wanted to be their fucking daddy? So they don't start thinking, "Well, we should get a union together because this old fuck is fucking us over."
I'm glad.
And it's just like you said, like CM Punk, like when he was, quitting, Vince, he's like, he was so baffled. He's like, Vince with tears in his eyes, wanted to hug me. And he's like, I haven't talked to this motherfucker in 2 years. Like almost, it was just all like, oh,
fired him on his wedding day.
We're family.
Fired him on his wedding day.
You bring up something, okay?
Family.
Hold on. Go ahead, George.
To where we had Seth Rollins comment about how, so his wife talks about how there's guys who did certain things. And Seth Rollins on the other hand come out and says he totally agrees that there's guys right now who are doing work just to collect the paycheck.
Yeah.
Okay. And I say this about Seth. If you know there are guys there who are just there to work to collect the paycheck and give a crap about the business, once again, don't give us a generalization. Tell us who these people are.
Have some fucking balls.
That's the thing. Don't just give us generalization. Call these people out. Make them invest.
You know who did that? You know who doesn't give a fucking did that? When fucking Dean Ambrose was on his podcast, Steve Austin goes, "You suck," basically.
Oh, he's just like, like I'll never forget when he was just like, man, he's like, I'm talking to you, but I'm trying to ask, like, what's the, what gives you, but you're sitting over here, you're talking, and like Dean Ambrose is like, oh, I'm kind of offended, like I'll never forget how awkward that was, and how Dean
Brock
Ambrose
Lesnar goes in there with at WrestleMania and puts on a piss poor performance against Dean Ambrose.
Well,
because they have no problem being 100% honest. But then you have this new batch, like the Seth Rollins of the world, like the Becky Lynch's of the world, all just tiptoe around it. Have some fucking balls. If I have a problem with Gerard, I'm going to tell Gerard. If I've had problems with Jacob, we've done it on this fucking show. And I love Jacob. But I love Jacob enough to say, hey, what the fuck was that? Because I have enough care and respect for him to do the right thing.
That's never happened.
You'll never find those episodes.
Erase from existence.
It just zooms in on my face with the Curb Your Enthusiasm.
But that's what I'm saying. If you care about somebody, then you say something. You don't go on a fucking podcast with a shirtless goof and say, well, there's some guys who aren't looking to hold their own in the business. And fuck that.
Once again, though, but tell me something. Okay, we all know this. We all know in every sport, there's people who are there. Hell, in every job, there's people who don't care if the company succeeds or fails. As long as you pay me my paycheck, I can give a shit. Okay? I get it. I understand it. But in every job, people ain't calling out people and saying, yeah, I know there's guys here who could give a crap.
Because there was a time and place, Gerard, when if you did that, it was shock value. And it was like, oh, my God, I can't believe he's just saying that. I said, oh, who is it? Who is it? Let's get some buzz. You know who did their job? You know who got fucked over and I was rolling in the indies? Killer Cross. How about you bring that up? How about you bring that up, Seth? How Killer Cross was fucking more over than you ever were. And they fucked him and his wife out of a job.
And, that the good thing about bringing that up is let's talk about who should have been facing our next match last night instead of this Hall of Fame girl.
If they say she's okay, hold on. Y'all want to bitch about Michelle McCool being a Hall of Famer? I can see Brie being a Hall of Famer, but Nikki is a fucking joke.
Wait a minute, hold on. I don't know if we can talk about Nikki because she is from Arizona. So I don't know if Jacob's going to have her back.
Here's the thing, though, with Nikki. Nikki is one of the greatest that's ever. No, I'm just kidding. No, but Nikki is fucking terrible. Like, and just it's always been same thing. Like Brie has been like the marginalist, like just a little bit better than Nikki.
Nikki is a fucking dinosaur from a bygone era of women's wrestling. Look at the name of her fucking finisher. And I want you to hear me when I fucking say this. You can sit there and say it's called the rack attack because she puts them in a rack position. No, it was about her tits. She got the fucking pneumatic tits done, and then she named a finisher after her tits. There's nothing more Divas fucking revolution or Divas fucking period than pneumatic tit finishers.
Well, let me ask you, when we just talking about what Becky said about women. Becky, were you calling out anybody in particular? Because I guess maybe the women we're talking about, maybe when she was talking about the male who would force, how about the women in the back who would sleep with guys to get a better position? Yep. No pun intended.
Well, literally, fucking the Bella twins were found out of a magazine log by their future father-in-law, like John Laurinaitis, which is really
how awkward is that?
Weird coinky.
Again, allegedly in speculation, spanking it to his future daughters.
Weird as fuck. But again, like it's sad that we have Nikki Bella. Yeah, people Bauer. We have Nikki Bella.
I think these twins would make a great addition, Vince. We can have them in your office. We can do so many things with these twins. Twins, Vince, twins.
We'll put one of them behind the couch, and I'll blindfold you, and
The best part of that match was
We'll play pin the tail of the donkey, Vince.
One of them blindfold you, and one of them behind the couch, and we'll do musical chairs, but with the twins. And
the best part of that
hold on,
match,
we can use that on television. Twin magic. I'm pretty sure that's how Twin Magic came about.
the best part of that match was
when it
Wade
was over?
Barrett's commentary during the Devil's Kiss. The Wade Barrett, when she did the Devil's Kiss on the thing, and he was Michael Cole. Yeah, you've never been this close to a woman before.
Oh no! The funniest thing about that was like Michael Cole was just like, "Well, I'm still rear," and it's just like Wade Barrett's like, "Yeah, that's you're never gonna forget that, are you, Cole?" Well, he's like, "Closest you've ever been to a woman in 20 years." He was just fucking roasting Michael Cole. Michael Cole had to like shut up after that. But Jesus Christ, Stephanie's gonna kill her knees if she keeps doing this, and it's kind of sad that she's gonna have to keep doing this because, man, I just want every inch of her preserved. Like Dragon Ball Z, like fucking, I don't know, put her in a fucking tank. I don't know, man. Like Stephanie Vicur, she talk about timeless. We're talking about timeless Tony Storm, man. But yeah, no, you can tell.
What I saw in that match.
First of all, can we talk about Stephanie, like Nikki Bella not selling the Devil's Kiss? Like she just wouldn't like she would.
He sold it.
She sold it at the end. She
She's
looked like a
like
fucking. She looked like
she sold her face, but like she wasn't like in position, so Stephanie like had to awkwardly like adjust. It just looked awkward.
What I'll say is this: at the end she sold it like that guy who got thrown to the rail by fucking Sid Vicious back in the early '90s, late '80s.
Yeah,
she sold it pretty well. What I didn't like is she was trying to over fucking act. Your face is gonna get stuck like that, Gerard. I hope it does. Look at you. Look like a fucking Sour Patch Kid. Fucking but no, like she was trying to start beef with her before the match, and she was trying to do X, Y. She is living proof that the Divas fucking era needs to die. It needs to go away. It never needs to be spoken of again. I'm over the Divas era. The only good thing that came out of the Divas era, I want to say, is probably AJ Lee and
Alicia Fox. Yeah, my favorite thing, man, the greatest gimmick of all time, like barring Jinder Mahal, man, like when Noam Dar would come out there on 205 Live and like, my girlfriend, the beautiful Alicia Fox. It was fucking, oh man, that gimmick could have gone. We're not even talking about Stone Cold 1997, man. We're talking fucking Mike Tyson around that. Like it was beautiful. Noam Dar, who's still employed by WWE, by the way, man. Like I'm still waiting on that, comeback of Noam Dar. Right? Is anyone else?
Finally,
Gerard, you know who Noam Dar is?
finally, after fucking 15 minutes of fucking boredom and me finally waking up, we go to our main event. Gerard, I'll let you start.
Yeah.
I'll let you start.
CM Punk coming out. And obviously going up over the cage, get in because, that's what his wife did. And then, Braun Breaker coming out. I wish with the star power that was in this match, you should have had a hell of a lot more. Because let's think about it. Now, we said about the women's. In the women's match, 9 out of the 10 have held a major title. In the men's match, you had 2 champions in the ring, then Roman. Then you had the Usos. So 4 out of the 5 have been champion. On the other side, you had, let's see, Brock was a champion. Nothing for Bronson, nothing for Breaker. Hold on. The other 2.
See, that's how shitty the match was. He doesn't remember who was in it.
I mean, you have Drew McIntyre.
But a champion during COVID, never run back. And the other one besides Drew,
Logan
Paul. Okay, so you had unlike the women's champion, where you had 9 out of 10. Here you only had 7 out of 10. Okay. And the ones that weren't champion yet, I think they got the wrong guys just because of Bronson Reed, to me, doesn't do when he got into the ring, he did tsunami for everybody. He can't do nothing else. Braun Breaker, same thing.
I'm just glad he didn't break his fucking ankles this time.
Well, yeah, fuck, dude. Like who can imagine that a fucking almost 500-pound dude like jumping 40, like almost 30 feet in the air?
Let me ask you this: did the Usos add anything to that match?
No. I mean, listen, Big Jim was fucking. No, the only thing Jay Uso added to the match was humping the shit out of the fucking wire that was holding the fucking cage. Dude, when Jay Uso showed up, like, first of all, wearing fucking Nickelodeon Gap green fucking attire with pockets in his back where you shouldn't even have pockets on leather tights. That doesn't make any sense. But literally, you have Big Jim out there just, being a sidekick for Jey Uso at this point. And then when I saw, like, when Jey Uso was focusing up to the camera and I saw him I saw him do that fucking dumbass bullshit. And then, like, that everyone in the ring had to lay, like, all the heels had to lay there. And all the baby faces had to stand there while this fucking goofy goober, I'm
glad you bring that part up. Because in the men's match, we saw a lot more downtime for spots than we saw in the women's match.
We saw.
Now, listen, like, as much as I was saying earlier how much of a hypocrite I am for saying, oh, I would never support this as a kid. Like, if I was a kid and Jey Uso, like, I'd be the biggest Jey Uso fan probably ever. But, like, the fact that this is the middle of a fucking War Games match and you have Jey Uso climb up, like, literally just fucking like, I don't know what the fuck. He was humping he was humping that motherfucker. And then Brock Lesnar's music hit, and then it just turned into the match. Just got silly at that point. I would have done something like, hey, if you have Punk be first, then boom, bring Brock out first. Like, then, like, having Punk and Braun was fine, but like, bring Brock out first or like second, then have something happen where Brock is taken out for a little bit, then Brock can come back and do that shit with Roman. Like, they did not need to have all this dumb like the Jey Uso, because I'm glad that Jey Uso wasn't the last entrant, because I literally thought they were going to do the whole thing with him coming through the crowd and doing the whole bullshit, and he climbs the cage, eating and all that bullshit. But fuck, dude, like, this is honestly getting to the point where, like, now that I'm honestly, like, kind of concerned that Jay is going to be John Cena's final opponent.
Here's my problem with this now. You have a pair of brass knuckles brought into the match, and it doesn't knock people out, when for years we've been told in wrestling that brass knuckles...
And that's the thing. You can't even go that and say that there was no precedent for this, because even the guy who fucking says War Games, William Regal, his finisher was the power of the punch, where he used fucking brass knuckles.
Well, and it's ridiculous. Nothing about this made any fucking goddamn sense.
And at the end, Chris Jericho coming out and stomping fucking CM Punk. What the fuck was that?
Yeah, no, 100%. That was Chris Jericho. How fast he moved. How quickly, how high he jumped.
Judas in my mind playing in the fucking background.
I knew 100%. I was like, yep, that's Jericho. No, 100%. This is Austin Theory. And because I recognize that bubble ass anywhere, and
of course you do.
Well, yeah, no, I knew it, man. Austin Theory is more caked up than Lia Valkyria ever has been. By the way, like, we've all moved past Bird Girl pretty quick, huh? Haven't we? Like, I feel like WWE.
Well, wait till fucking Austin Theory starts talking about his Becky Stompers.
Becky Stomper. These are my Becky Stompers. Poor girl. Anyways,
okay, so what we can come away from this is just a piss poor pay-per-view, and we have 20 minutes left. And you know what? I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to bring up a company that knows how to use a fucking ring, who knows how to use brass knuckles, who knows how to fucking make shit look like that shit fucking should that ended it. I watched my first ever full AEW pay-per-view in the last 2 weeks. Full gear. I thought that shit was excellent. Didn't pass out through it. Enjoyed every bit of it. I watched Mark Briscoe win the television title. I watched fucking Hangman Adam Page in arguably his best fucking match ever, and the right guy won in that match.
Well, I'm feeling like a I don't know, like a sickness or like some word vomit coming up because I absolutely
Because a certain somebody
I
decided,
wholeheartedly agree with Dan on this. Now, this is a rare sighting where you're going to see me agree. And honestly, I will say this right now. This is going to be unprecedented. This is probably my favorite pay-per-view AW has ever done. Hell has frozen over.
Now, believe it or not,
Fine.
me and Tripp sat down and watched this fucking pay-per-view. She enjoyed it. I enjoyed it. I think Kyle Fletcher wears too much pink and his ass is fucking too exposed in his tights. I don't need to see all that.
Yeah, that is a crime. But I will say this.
Even with the lack of star power, I watched John Moxley and fucking Kyle O'Reilly have a fucking, yes, there was violence, but that was a classic. That was a wonderful match.
And honest, like again, this is a rare situation for me where this pay-per-view is like, again, I always complain about the length of these AEW pay-per-views.
It went by. And it was long, but it just boom, 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 boom.
Other than that, man, I mean, I enjoyed it. Like the first time I've really enjoyed an AEW pay-per-view in a long time.
And let's be honest, AEW has a fucking injury bug right now, and they don't have the stars like they should. But with what they had,
someone kicked Tony in the ass.
They had the stars. They had them, and two of those guys were in the thing last night.
Yeah. What is WWE doing with them, Gerard?
Oh wait, they're only both champions.
Okay.
Well, here's the thing, though. But like,
I wouldn't know if you would actually.
Honestly, like, I could be the one to, because again, you know how I am with AEW. I could be the fucking dickhead and nitpick all the bullshit. But I mean, they put the TNT title on Mark Briscoe. They made Samoa Joe the fucking world champion again after the fucking, like, Hangman Page should be nowhere near the fucking main event scene. So that's always a plus. And the fact that, like, again, I think the whole bullshit with the Continental International fucking, that whole bullshit with that, like, C2 bullshit is weird. But making Ricochet the national champion damn near made sense, too. So I was like, damn. Like,
I knew it was going to happen. I was watching that whole match, and the way he fucking outsmarted the Hurt Syndicate, loved it. I love the Hurt Syndicate stuff. I was
hoping for Lashley. I was hoping for Lashley to, or I was hoping for Shelton to be the champion.
I love the look of the national I love the look of the national.
Yeah, can we talk about that? Because that's honestly more interesting than anything that happened at the pay-per-view. Can we talk about the whole national championship?
Looks just like NWA. The old school NWA World United States Championship. Looks beautiful. Looks fucking just like.
Well, can we talk about this? Because like people are fucking like, the people think that this is Tony shitting on the NWA and Billy.
Well, how is it shitting on the NWA?
Because it's literally the exact same fucking design as the NWA TV championship that they literally have.
Say what you want about Tony Khan, and a lot of people have. The motherfucker likes wrestling. He is a fucking purist as far as like the lineage of making a belt. The AEW title looks way better. I'm sorry. You can say what you want. It looks way better than anything WWE's got going right now.
Okay, yeah, I agree with that. But it's like if AEW is going to come out there and be like, this is the first, we have the first national championship that's been on TBS, since the NWA days.
Women's championship.
No. They're talking about the national championship specifically. Tony Khan and Tony Schiavone came out and said that this national championship represents the lineage of the old of the NWA, essentially.
And I love that.
No, but when NWA already has a national champion.
And what are they doing with it?
But here's the thing. It doesn't even matter what they're doing with it.
Are they changing your narrative? Is that what they're doing?
What changing my narrative for what?
Is NWA changing your narrative?
No, but for AEW to claim that that this is their history, for AEW to claim that this is their history, well, we're bringing the national championship back to TBS. They're making it
that's like when they bring the Owen Hart Classic.
Yes, they're making it seem like this is their history, that they claim this, like they're the only ones that ever brought this back to the mainstream.
I get
NWA.
That, but, okay. They also say that the AEW belt is the most premier belt in all of wrestling. You have to believe your own bullshit at some point.
No, this is different though.
You pay to your competitor.
No, this is different though, because they're specifically claiming that this on TBS, like this is the national championship, and they're basically trying to claim that the NWA history is
Who's choking like your dog?
Yeah, no, my dogs are going crazy right now.
Okay.
Sorry.
Let me ask you this. I'm going to ask both of you this right now. Who's the United States champion in WWE right now?
Dragunov.
Who's the U.S. champion in WWE right now?
Dragunov.
Took you a second there, right?
Yeah, I'm just because I thought it was Sami Zayn for a fact.
Who fucking cares? At least you care.
You're saying, well, okay, but you're saying that people care more about You're saying people care more about Ricochet than they do.
I'd say they care. They're talking about a belt in a competitive company well more than they are talking about the fucking one in WWE.
Okay, but like that, this is completely different though, because it's AEW claiming to have the national, like the NWA heritage when NWA still fucking exists.
So here's my argument. About fucking comparing belts. Right? Here's what I want to say. AEW has way too many belts. I agree with you. I think the Continental and the fucking International need to be one. I think they just pick one name, stick with that.
Isn't Okada the unified champion?
Yes.
Isn't that what that's supposed to be?
Yeah, that's what it is. But
no, it's not, because they split it up for this Continental Classic. Now, like whoever, like Okada gets to hold the international belt, but for him to be the unified and the Continental champion, he has to make it through the whole tournament.
I'm going to put you guys like this.
Hold on. What I'm saying is this. Yes, I do believe the AEW has too many belts, but at least they take the time to put emphasis on every belt. Okay,
who's ROH World Television Champion?
I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about ROH.
No.
Technically, ROH is not AEW. Let's just call it. Look, they are owned by the same company, but ROH is not AEW.
Who's the NXT champion?
Ricochet.
I mean, not Ricochet. Ricky Saints.
Wow. Way to make the fucking argument, Gerard. Really?
Ricky Saints. Okay. Well, listen. Okay. Let's think about the title lineage here. Okay.
And to be fair, I gotta say this: I don't think Ricky Saints should have beat Obafemi for that title. I'm gonna be honest. Yeah, no, he shouldn't have won. Like that was ridiculous to me. I'm not only hating on AEW. I will say that.
I will put it like this: 6 years, right? Let's count the titles that AEW has produced in 6 years. The titles that WWE has that they have, they only merged titles from a company that they bought. The U.S. title would not be part of WWE if they didn't get WCW. Okay, yeah. You don't have 2 world titles if you don't merge with WCW. You don't have 2 women's world titles if you don't merge with WCW.
No, you don't have 2 women's world titles if fucking AEW didn't create the TBS title.
And what I'm saying is, but notice they have one.
Okay, I will concede that WWE has done a lot, right? I can see that WWE did this, but you know what? I'm not going to sit here and let anybody fucking destroy the fact that AEW had the first female referee, and I don't even like Aubrey, but they had the first female referee.
Oh, they did it.
Match. If you bring up Rita Chatterton, shut the fuck up. I don't give a fuck about her. I'm not talking about that. Fuck that.
No.
All right, listen. Like, I mean, as much as I love Spirit, The Legend of Chimeron, it's not the best DreamWorks movie out there. So, like,
what I'm saying is this: AEW has done more for women's wrestling than fucking WWE did.
I mean, in a short amount of time, yes, I agree with that. But like,
because Gerard, you can argue all you want. There would not be a fucking what the fuck is that fucking W in the NXT mid card title?
North
Oh,
America.
There would not be a North American title for women. There would not be an Intercontinental title for women. There would not be a fucking what's it called? United States Championship for women.
Yeah. By the way, like, who are
Hey, hold on.
like?
There wouldn't be a platform for women if it wasn't for WWE, though.
Well, and I'm kind of blanking. Like, who are the
20 years
champions?
For 20 years, they were the only candy store in town.
Great, and that's great. But you're going to sit here and argue and say that fucking AEW hasn't done more for their women than fucking WWE. Statlander had a hell of a fucking match with Mercedes Moné.
You're gonna tell me.
Can we just
week,
talk about Statlander for the rest of 10 minutes?
You're gonna tell me up until last week, Mercedes Moné did more for AEW than anybody.
I'm not talking about Mercedes Moné. I'm talking about AEW as a whole. I said that Statlander.
For 2 years, she has taken that company women's division and drove it into the ground because of her own selfishness.
I agree with that. I agree with that. Like, I would.
She's only one part. You know who's been carrying that?
A couple weeks ago.
You know who's been carrying that fucking company? Hold on, Jacob. You know who's been carrying that fucking company for a year? Timeless Tony Storm.
That's
Mercedes was a fucking
title.
What?
Without a title.
Well, and again, like, I mean,
with or without a title, the shit that she did with Mariah May was.
That's what I'm saying. Without the title, she didn't need the title to do it.
And that's
but don't give me the same stuff. Mercedes Moné is a great person.
I'm not saying that. I'm not saying that Mercedes. What have I ever said? Mercedes is good. In fact, Chris Statlander carried that match. It was a decent match, but Mercedes is the one that, but Statlander is the one who carried it.
Mercedes Moné's best matches when she was a member of the Four Horsewomen. Period.
And I believe I'm with you on that. But my problem is this: there's enough women's wrestling on AEW that she's a footnote and everything. Yes, I don't like her, but you got stuff going on with the fucking the Triangle of Madness.
What you're saying right now is though you had you had 10 women in a match last night. I could take 6 of those women there, watch them wrestle all day long.
Oh no, I agree. Io Sky is probably the greatest pound for pound woman wrestling right now. But you're not going to tell me that WWE platforms her properly. The women don't get any time on fucking WWE. You know who got time last night?
No, they used to get 3 minutes. They used to get 3 minutes. I'm going to tell you this right now. Look at the women last night. They got 52 minutes last night.
Okay.
The men got about 45.
Wow. First time for anything. Wow. Oh, my God. You know what happened? Hold on. You want to know what happened on AEW? They got a 4 corners match to decide the fate of their tag team because they're actually bringing a tag team, women's tag team. It's going to mean something.
Oh, wait a minute. Hold on. Let me guess.
Harley Cameron and
Willow. They put Collision on Thursday.
Man. If Harley Cameron and
Willow. They moved Collision to Thursday? What?
Yeah, they moved the Collision to Thursday.
Good.
So they wouldn't have to go up against Survivor Series.
Exactly.
Because,
okay.
Counter programming.
Hold on. We only have 7 minutes, but now we're going to get into it. Tony Khan, who I haven't been a fan of for a long time, was on Ariel Helwani. Right? You saw that, right, Jacob?
Yeah.
Did a hell of a job of answering that shit, and basically said when they brought up the fact when they brought up the shit about fucking WWE booking, he didn't cry, he didn't bitch. He goes, "Hey, it's par for the course."
He's had better media training since the last time he did an interview. I'll say that.
You can say that all you want, Jacob, but at the end of the day,
I think you're giving him too much. You're giving him too much credit.
I think he's done trying to be WWE. That was his biggest flaw. He was trying so hard to be like the bigger. He made the same mistake TNA did. He made the same mistake as everybody's made.
We'll see, man. We will see, man. Because
what I say is, you can argue it all you want, but the last fucking AEW pay-per-view has smoked anything.
It was good. It was good.
Anything that WWE's put out in the last 6 months.
It was good. Man, last 6 months is a bit of a stretch, but no, I mean, it was good. It was good. I'm glad that
we weren't talking about how WrestleMania was dog shit last year.
WrestleMania wasn't the best. You know, I've seen. Come on, WrestleMania. The
only thing decent on SummerSlam or what was it? Yeah, SummerSlam was Cody versus fucking Cena.
Yeah, really? No, listen, that's better than any. Come on, man. That's better than anything AEW has done in a long time. This was a good. This was a good
match for match. WWE has fucking, and I kept giving them excuses. Oh, you know what? They can have one bad one. Oh no, look, they're just in a slump right now. It's
Yeah,
gonna be
No, it's not. No. Here's the thing. Like the last few pay-per-views have been good, but AEW pulled out a good one. But it's just like every time they do, it's just like, well, see,
Wait a minute, hold on.
AEW is doing great.
How many matches on Full Gear?
Like I don't know, 14 probably, but it's like
okay. We watched 4 yesterday. How can you compare 4 to 14?
Well, and here's the thing, but like, and here's the thing, you can't really compare. That's where I come. You can't really compare the both because they're both different, you know. And but like at the same time,
14
and there was 9,000 people in the building for Full Gear, and there was 46,000 people last night.
Yay!
Like,
great.
You can't compare, but at the same time, you have to.
I love this because.
Oh, wait a minute! Hold on. 4 months ago, they put 25,000 in an arena.
Hold on. 10 minutes ago, Gerard was talking about how shitty this pay-per-view was and how WWE is missing a step and how Brad Armstrong needs to stop fucking booking and that fucking P.S. Hayes needs to stop doing this. But now it's the greatest thing since sliced bread.
No, I didn't say that.
We talked about fucking AEW. AEW can't get the win?
No, AEW, objectively, AEW had a better pay-per-view than WWE on this time.
On their big,
this is the first time in a long time.
I'm going to tell you this right now. What I watched last night, when they did All In your beautiful town, and they only put 25,000 in that beautiful
about
building,
that. You can talk about that all you want, Gerard. But the fact
is, wait a minute. WrestleMania.
You're bitching and moaning about one of the. You said this on the car ride.
Yeah.
One of the WWE's big 4, and it was that horrible, and I was like this. And I'm like,
my question to you is this. Okay, I watched that big one from Texas, which is their WrestleMania. Okay, and what I saw last night at least competed with what they put up for their WrestleMania.
Okay, so maybe it's time, and up to that point, WWE wasn't doing in the constant slope that it is now, going down and down and down. And maybe, just maybe, we have to make a realization that since WrestlePalooza, which was supposed to be another version of fucking WrestleMania, which was complete dog shit, here we are, and this is the second time they have produced fucking trash.
Well, let me go like this, okay? The average ticket price to get in yesterday was a lot cheaper than a lot of people expected. Obviously,
are you going to sit here and die in his heels?
No.
Are you sure you're not part of a club that was owned by a crazy old man?
So what I'm saying is the numbers could have been skewed because they actually bring the price down.
Yeah.
To fill the ballpark.
Yeah.
I'm saying is this. What I watched last night was not good production-wise. Sometimes you can't blame the people in the ring for that. Okay.
You can't always blame the guys in AEW either.
What I'm saying is, though, the production-wise. Okay.
And what has changed, Gerard, that AEW in the last couple months have finally decided, you know what? They're going to do what they're going to do. We're going to
AEW.
Their production value is always like up and down and all around. Like they have a good stage one week and then they have a shitty stage another week.
Can we honestly say, let's be honest here, WWE has slowly but surely started to degenerate, if you will.
Because of freaking commercialization.
Okay.
Literally, commercialization.
And again, you have a company in AEW who's not shoving commercials down your throat. Yes, they still have fucking sponsors. Yes, Warner Media is showing DC logos. They're doing all this other stuff, but they're trying something different, and they stopped being slaves to WWE. Well, Tony's even come out and said he's going to take your idea. He heard about Gerard's idea in New York City, and he's going to probably try to see if they can do something. He goes, he's like, I heard about this podcast called the Marks Podcast, and I know this guy Gerard really doesn't like me, but I'm going to do what I can. I'm taking 2 extra pills of Adderall, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to really try to make Gerard. I know if I can get the Gerard fans out there, the Jacobs will fall in line. I'm in talks with Jinder Mahal. We're going to get him in AEW real soon. We're going to do everything we can to bring back 3-man band. If Drew McIntyre wants to come back and get some real money and do a real job, we can come over. We can do something in AEW. But our first goal is to get the Gerard fans back into AEW.
Where can I put my resume? Where can I put my
resume? Reason you went full blown like Rocky IV on that one. If I believe we could change and they could change, we could all change. The fuck was that?
Now she's ribbing you. That's beautiful.
See, here's the thing, man. Oh, well, I mean, you know, if Tony Khan came out and was saying, "Hey, man, we're gonna offer Jinder Mahal a multi-year contract," and
Then we're done. We're done. Then we're done.
you know, we're really gonna push him, and I'd be like, "Hey,
We'll get the Jacobs of the world."
yeah, for the Jacobs of the world, I would be elated, man."
Would you now? Would you get Rock Hard for Jinder Mahal?
No, I would get, I would just stand there because I feel like I wouldn't be in the presence of such greatness. You know, I'd be like,
All of you Marks have been listening to the Marks Podcast on YouTube.